Hello everyone, and welcome to the rematch. Last season, these two teams faced off in the national championship where UConn, in the dying seconds, narrowly etched out a victory. Both teams look a bit different this year after graduating a number of superstars, but the biggest change between the two rosters is Georgia's quarterback. After graduating one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Callum Brink, Trevor Dillard, the true sophomore, will be taking over as the starter. There are some question marks about his capability. He is a very accurate short yardage quarterback, but struggles deeper down the field, despite having a very strong arm. And let's not forget about the redshirt junior Tank Easy, who committed to Georgia instead of UConn a number of years ago. He is now officially a starter, and he's one of the best players on this Georgia defense. He will mostly be lined up against Manny Smith on the left side of the offensive line. Be sure to keep an eye out for that matchup. The Bulldogs come into this game, of course, as the favorites to win the SEC again this season, but also having just crushed the Clemson Tigers, which is not a bad football team. In this game, the Georgia defense managed to keep quarterback Prince Apple under a 50% completion percentage and forced 3 interceptions. Hopefully John Pelshak can keep it cleaner than Prince Apple did here in one of the toughest places to play in the country, Athens, Georgia. UConn will start with the football, and it is pouring rain here in Georgia. So we'll see how that affects this football game. Cadet breaking a tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Second down, Pelshak. Back to pass, and he wants it all with Jeffrey Ritchie. Man left him alone. Jeffrey Ritchie by himself. Touchdown UConn on the second play of the day. He was initially in man coverage, and then his man bailed. Left him by himself. No safety help over the top. I think that's just a blown coverage from the Georgia Bulldogs, and UConn gonna strike first and strike early in this one. Time to see if this new look Huskies defense can keep up with Georgia. Dillard, the new quarterback of Georgia this season, will hand off to Alfonso Lehan. Spins out of a tackle. Should have been a loss of 2 instead of a pickup of 7. Second and 3. Will they go to the ground again after Lehan's good performance on the last one? No, they go to the air. And Stanford actually losing forward progress makes it a 3rd and inches. 3rd and inches from the 35. Man comes over in motion. Dillard will actually look to throw on the 3rd and inches, finding Lehan, and Parker Sims brings him down with an open field tackle, but it is a first. Man in motion again. This Georgia offense loves their motion, and it's a throw to him to the outside. There is a flag down, however, and it looks like it's going to be DPI on Randy Radovich. That is not what I was expecting. No, excuse me, it's offensive pass interference. That is a rare call in college football 25. That may even be the first time we've seen it in the 71 now episodes of the series. Dillard under some pressure, quick throw outside. Dennis Colin with the elite speed chases down the tight end, Jeff McHugh. That's what you love about Dennis Colin. He's got the best speed we've ever had at linebacker with the same skills as Raheem Lovelace and Joey Terrell. As Dillard throws this to the outside, need a good open field tackle, and we get it from John Catapano, taking advantage of his new slot opportunity this week. 3rd and 22 for the Bulldogs from the 27. Dillard with time to throw over the middle, swatted down by Siaki Toole, who is getting his chance to start at sub linebacker today. Knocks this one down, very well played by the linebacker. So we scored on 2 plays last time. Can we do it again, as Cadet will get a carry up the middle, finding about 4. Sets up a 3rd down and 4 for Pelshak. He's back to pass. He wants his tight end Juan Beaver, and he can't hold on. Pelshak made a decent throw. Beaver can't keep his hands on it. 4th down will punt. New drive for Georgia, starting from their own 19 this time. That is Antonio Bouchard in the backfield. He will get the carry, finds his way to the edge, and has to be chased down by Dennis Colin, but he already has a first. Georgia has 3 very capable halfbacks, all very similar to each other. Alfonso Lehan is typically their preference. Siaki Toole makes another play. A sack for Toole, and then he helps the quarterback up just to chirp in his face a little bit. A loss of 8 for Georgia. A great start to the day for Siaki Toole. On 2nd and 18 from the 21. Throwing right side, Dillard finding Jeff McHugh, breaks 2 tackles and has a first, but a flag is down. It is a holding penalty, and this one is coming back. A great play by the superstar tight end Jeff McHugh, completely erased. 2nd and 28, Dillard dumps this off to Lehan, and Toole will bring him down eventually. 3rd and 21. So a long ways to go. Have to get to basically the 40 to get the first. Dillard running out of time, breaks out of a tackle, might have to scramble, but he's panicking in the backfield, and he goes down at the 10. 4th and 30. This UConn defense wanting to prove that they didn't need those 8 seniors that left them after the offseason. Clyde Novak having a great start to his senior campaign, and Georgia will punt it out of their own end zone. A pretty decent kick considering it came out of the back of the end zone, as we do have to start from our own side of the field, but only by a yard. On 1st and 10, Cadet nowhere to go for Max. 2nd and 11 now. Pelshak back to pass, and he gets this to Tevin Madu, breaking a tackle. A flag is down again, and it's actually going to be on the Bulldogs. Undisciplined so far. It's roughing the passer on Georgia. That is a big-time penalty. It moves us very far forward. Now we're at the 29 in Bulldog territory. Pelshak takes the snap, hands to Cadet, and again, he is just swallowed up. On 2nd down from the 28, Cadet will get another opportunity, and the block is not made at the 2nd level. It's Matthew Winterswick. 3rd and 10 now for the Huskies. Pelshak to pass, and he runs out of time. He had Juan Beaver wide open, but there just wasn't time to make the throw. Long field goal attempt coming up for Tyreek Hollis. Kick is up, and it is shanked to the right. No good from Hollis. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. Their defense holds strong. From the 37, Georgia takes back over. Lehan going to get a carry, met by Nate Putu. And Clyde Novak is exiting with an injury, holding that right arm. Hopefully it's not too serious. He was having a great start to the season. So that means you'll see even more of the big man in the middle, number 93, Darren Michelle. He's in the backfield immediately. Clyde Novak, who? Darren Michelle all day. That does bring in Terrence Cook, a more than capable pass rusher. Not really known for his run stopping like Clyde Novak, though. Throw intercepted by Randy Radovich, somehow stepping in front of it. Nobody in front of Randy, and it's a touchdown for the UConn Huskies. A 47-yard pick six for Randy Radovich. I don't know how he managed to step in front of that one, but he's got some of the best hands in the cornerback room, making good use of them there. UConn will extend their lead off of a defensive score. A quick injury update after the pick six. It is a dislocated shoulder for Clyde Novak. He will not return in this one. So it'll be all Darren Michelle and some Terrence Cook in the middle. This is a throw to the outside. Good move made by their man down the field. It's DeAndre Rouse with good speed, and he's up to the UConn 29. And again, UConn just struggling to make tackles. Seemed like that play should not have gone for nearly as much as it did, but here we are. It's a handoff to Bouchard, and Terrence Cook is back there right away. 2nd and 14 now after the loss from the 33. It's going to be a throw from Dillard, finding Rouse again. Fayad brings him down, but it's a first down for DeAndre Rouse. First down, Bulldogs at the 18. Seems Dillard may have found his favorite target now in DeAndre Rouse. Broken tackle, another broken tackle, as Alfonso Lehan did not want to go down. Makes it a 2nd and medium. And it's going to be Lehan again. Parker Sims holds him long enough for Joshua Dora to help clean up. 3rd down. Bouchard in the backfield, but Dillard will throw, nearly intercepted by Joshua Dora, in and out of his hands. And it's going to force a field goal attempt. This would be Georgia's first points on the game from the left hash. Kick on its way. That is right down the middle. 14-3 for the UConn Huskies. A horrible kick return means UConn starts at their own 11. Max Cadet will get a carry, And he'll get 4, which is honestly one of his better carries so far today. On 2nd and 6, go back to the ground with Cadet. A flag is down. Cadet is losing yardage. He's down at the 9, and it's a holding penalty. I believe that's Dexter Ort. Well, I have to say it's been a less than ideal start to this drive for UConn. 3rd and 12 now after the penalty. Pelshak to throw, trying to find Juan Beaver. He was under pressure instantly. Falls incomplete. It's 4th and 12. So Georgia keeping themselves relevant in this one. It's a 1st and 10 at the 48. 9 minutes left to play in the first half. It's a handoff to Lehan. A flag is down again, and it looks like it's going to be another holding penalty. Now 1st and 19 after the penalty. Lehan still gets the ball, and Dennis Colin is back there immediately. So now a 2nd and 20 from the 38. Dillard with a little bit of time checks it down to Lehan. Cannot make Nate Putu miss. So a 3rd and forever for Georgia. UConn's defense, though, known for giving up these types of plays often, at least in the past. Dillard going to take off to run, and we are going to give it up because Dillard runs right past Siaki Toole, who was lurking in the middle. 1st and 10. It always hurts to give up those 3rd and long situations. From the UConn 37, they send a man in motion. Fake handoff to Lehan, and then a throw to the outside is completed. That's Damian Nesbitt. That brings us to a 2nd down. Is looking to throw again, and finding his man. It's Jeff McHugh as Joshua Dora can't keep up in coverage. It's going to be a 1st and goal at the 3. 2nd and goal. From the 3, Dillard scrambling and then throwing. He finds Jeff McHugh. Touchdown, Georgia. The university known for bringing elite tight end talent in. They have another one. Jeff McHugh gets 6, and they'll cut the lead to 4 after the point after. 6 minutes left to play in the half. Honestly, still a decent chunk of time here in the 2nd. On 1st and 10, Cadet will get a carry. Finally has some open field. Max Cadet at the 40, he goes down, his best carry of the day. Haven't seen much at all of Kareem Ursua. He is lined up in the slot on the right on this play. And Ursua will get the football. There is a flag down, though, and it's going to be another holding penalty. 1st and 20 now as Pelshak readies and fires downfield. It's intercepted as it's underthrown by a step for Dalton Schmizniak, and suddenly Georgia is in full control. Pelshak looking for his favorite man, the senior wideout Dalton Schmizniak. His route did not flatten out as much as anticipated, and therefore Pelshak's throw goes short and is intercepted. Georgia, now with all the momentum, will take over. From the 27, prime position to score. They do also start with the football in the 2nd half. Dillard hands off. Lehan. Dennis Colin is all over it. 2nd down and 13 after the loss. As Dillard now will look to throw. Takes the check down to Jeff McHugh, and he's going to get most of the yardage back to set up a 3rd and 4. From the 21, a 3rd down and 4. Blitz being sent. Dillard under pressure, and down he goes to Kevin October. Normally, that is Adonis Keogh's spot, but the D-line being moved around a bit due to the Clyde Novak injury. Kevin October, the beneficiary of being right there. He will get this sack, and Georgia will have to attempt another kick. This one longer than the last, but I imagine that it will still be good. And yeah, that is right down the middle. So it is 14-13. UConn still with the lead thanks to their hot start. 1st and 10 Huskies. Offense has not looked great recently. Another flag is down, which is a shame because that's a big pickup for Jeffrey Ritchie. Subtle celebrating, not knowing that he got called for holding. 1st and 20 after the holding penalty. Cadet will get another chance to get a carry. Runs over 1, gets 6. 2nd and long for Pelshak, who is cold. Gets this to Ritchie. And Ritchie makes it a more manageable 3rd down and 8. From the 27, 3rd and 8. Throw is to Tevin Madu, and he will get the first. Nearly 2 minutes left to play in the first half. 1st and 10, Cadet, the man in the backfield. 4-man rush from the Bulldogs. Pelshak scrambling, going to take off here, and running out of bounds at the 50 is John Pelshak. Empty set now, under 2 minutes to go. And to throw is John, and Tevin Madu can't hold on between the hit and the bad weather. Slippery hands for these receivers. Pelshak to throw again, and he wants Richie, but he runs out of time. This O-line cannot give their quarterback time to throw. 4th and 10, no choice but to punt it away. Georgia starting from their own 22, a chance to take the lead here before we head to the half, and they do start with the football in the second, and Dillard just didn't even see Siaki Toole at any point. Another sack for him. 2nd and 16 coming up. Long ways to go for the first. Minute 31 left to play. They did use a timeout there. That is completed right side, but doesn't get very far. Clock still ticking. 3rd and 9 with a minute 20. Dillard to throw, checks down to the halfback, and we get a good open field tackle from Dennis Colin. We will call a timeout. Not that the offense has been particularly efficient, but perhaps we can find a way to get some points before the half. A minute 6 to be played. Pelshak will throw outside, misses Schmizniak. The bad weather clearly affecting John today. Schmizniak very wide open on that play. And on this one, Pelshak will throw for Schmizniak again, and this time Dalton drops it. Pelshak is 4 for 12. Normally one of the most accurate quarterbacks today. I guess the weather affecting everything. Pelshak scrambling. Can he get the first? Makes a move. What a move by John Pelshak to keep the drive alive. We call a timeout. 51 seconds left. Pelshak to throw again. Trying to take the drag route. Madu does actually hold on this time, but it's only a pickup of 2, which is not exactly what's needed on 2nd and 8. Pelshak scrambling, down he goes, swallowed up, and it's a 3rd and 12. Gonna let a lot of that clock slip away. Just advance forward a little bit, and they are in the backfield instantly. This O-line cannot hold up at all today. 4th and 12, 7 seconds left. We're just gonna have to head to halftime. And in this replay, you're gonna see Manny Smith just literally never engaged in his block, giving Pelshak no chance. So to halftime we go. 14-13 is the score. The offense, ever since the one deep ball to Jeffrey Richie, has been absolutely horrendous for the UConn Huskies. At least the defense has still been pretty good despite the lack of all the starters we lost last season. A lot of guys, especially Siaki Toole, I think in particular, really stepping up. Let's see if UConn's offense can figure some stuff out. Specifically, this O-line needs to step up. So let's see what adjustments Georgia decided to make on the offensive side of the ball. Things weren't going super well, and now there's going to be another flag down as they can't seem to complete a running play without holding or blocking in the back. This time it's the latter, and it's Carl Stanford. The run game not really working for either team. It's been very pass-heavy for Georgia, and it's definitely been working better than UConn's pass game as Darren Michelle will swallow up Alfonso Lehan. With no Clyde Novak, definitely need Michelle to step up. I think he's more than capable. It's now 2nd and 11 after the TFL, and it's a wide receiver screen, rather running back screen, and it is incomplete. 3rd and 11 from their own 19. Dillard to throw with plenty of time, and to the right side, holding on to it, is Emmanuel Zenner. I feel like you're going to notice that their receivers hold on to everything when there's contact. My receivers, however, do not, and in fact can hardly catch the ball when there's no contact at all. Siaki Toole in the backfield once again. 11 yards to go for the first. Dillard with all kinds of time. That is completed downfield, and finally going down after fighting is DeAndre Rouse. Doesn't help that we cannot get any pressure unless we're sending blitzes. The Georgia O-line clearly a lot better than ours. This will be a handoff. Lehan breaks out of the tackle, breaks another one, but is swallowed up by Kevin October. So another 3rd and 11 situation. Will Dillard be able to convert again? And it's another running back screen, and it's incomplete once again. They cannot connect on these screen plays, and the Georgia drive fizzles out at midfield. 1st and 10 Huskies, as Cadet will get a carry, somehow finds his way through the middle. Don't know how Cadet got anything there. has 8 yards. Would love for Cadet to get it going on the ground if possible. He'll get another carry here, and he is just immediately killed. Empty set for John on 3rd and 1. Ursua will come over in motion. Blitz sent by Georgia, and there is nothing there. I think they read the play completely. This one is turned into a bit of a defensive battle. UConn can't get anything going offensively. And now Dillard over the middle, finding his man. It's DeAndre Rouse. The coverage has generally been pretty good, except for on DeAndre Rouse. He has found himself open time and time again. Dillard gonna throw to Jeff McHugh. Parker Sims is there, loss of 1. On 2nd and 11. Dillard with time, finding his man again. And that's gonna be another first down. This time it's Emmanuel Zenner. First down, Georgia. Moving right along on this drive. Handoff to Lehan. Putu can't make the tackle. Dennis Colin has to chase him down. 2nd and 2 as Georgia cracked some type of code. Things suddenly working a bit, although I say that, and I think that's going to be a holding penalty. 2nd and 12, have to get to the 19 for a first. Man in motion. And then Dillard will fake the handoff to Lehan. Has time, scrambling to the right side. Everyone's asleep at the wheel, and it's going to be a 3rd and 2 for Georgia. 3rd and very short from the 21. I think that's going to be on Terrence Cook, and that's going to be an automatic first. I think it was unlikely that we make the play regardless, but Terrence Cook doesn't even give us the chance. 1st and 10, handoff Lehan. Siaki Toole makes the tackle, but it is a pickup of 4. This 3rd quarter is flying by. Only a little over 3 minutes left to play. Dillard to pass, and he's got Lehan again. Good open field tackle. That's Alex Fayyad. Makes it a 3rd down and 9. Can the UConn defense come up with a stop? All kinds of time for Dillard. He's going to scramble again. Katapano takes a bad angle, and he's tackled into the end zone. What are we doing against Trevor Dillard? Everybody just falls asleep when he scrambles, and he just gets a free 10-plus yards every single time. And in this case, 6 points. I imagine they're going to go for the 2-point conversion. Georgia takes the lead. It doesn't help that we can't get any pass rush against this O-line. 2-point conversion attempt. Dillard to throw, corner end zone, swatted down. So only a 5-point lead for the Bulldogs. This UConn offense has to figure something out, or this game is going to slip away. Ursua on the carry. There is a flag down again. It's on Mike Hurd, the new left guard. It is absolutely not helping that we are starting a lot of these drives on a 1st and 20 situation, as Pelshak again has no time to throw, finding Tevin Madu. Another flag is down. Juan Beaver down the field, blocking the back. It's 1st and 23 for the UConn Huskies. Back-to-back penalties to start the new drive. This ball gets off to Kareem Ursua, makes one man miss, gets back to the 20. It's a 2nd and 14. 14 yards to go for a first. Man in motion. Pelshak to throw. He wants Dalton Schmizniak, makes the grab. He's not going to have a first. It's going to be 3rd and medium. 6 yards to go for a first. Pelshak to throw again, and he runs out of time again. There has been no time all day for John Pelshak, and this offense can't do anything because of it. Gonna need the defense to make some plays again. Gonna need maybe a Randy Radovich pick 6 again in order to have any type of chance in this game, as we cannot get past midfield really. 2nd and 3 for the Bulldogs from the 46. McHugh in motion, and it's going to be a running back screen, incomplete, as Dillard is drilled as he tries to throw. 3rd down and 3 for the Bulldogs. Quick throw to the outside. Broken tackle, Parker Sims. We needed that tackle from Parker Sims, and I'd venture to guess that Nate Putu would have made that tackle. Instead, it's a 1st down for the Bulldogs. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Dillard with all kinds of time again. Finally, somebody gets back there in the 4-man rush. It's Terrence Cook. A loss of 5. It's 3rd and 15. A long ways to go. Have to get to the 30 for a 1st down. Dillard with time, and over the middle, a wide open man. It's Emmanuel Zenner. I don't know what to say about these DBs. That pass coverage is just straight up embarrassing. As now it's a 1st and 10 at the 21. Handoff up the middle. Alfonso Lehan down at the 2. 1st and goal now. Scrambling Dillard. Touchdown Bulldogs. And they will extend their lead to 2 possessions. That is Forrest Johns in the end zone. And this one is firmly in Georgia control late in the game. Can the passing game get anything going, or are we just going to die to the Georgia Bulldogs? Hit as he throws his Pelshak, but finding Jeffrey Ritchie for 6. Need a score on this drive. 2nd and 4. Pelshak back to throw. Over the middle, he wants Schmizniak, who makes the grab. Crazy throw there from John Pelshak. Now a 1st and 10 as Pelshak throwing one deep. Tevin Madu's way. Tevin Madu just dropped a touchdown. You cannot make this up. Perfect ball from John Pelshak. I mean, you can't get more perfect of a throw, and it's just in and out of the hands of Tevin Madu. At this point, I'm about to substitute in the freshman wideout, Emmett Goda. The Georgia receivers catch every ball despite massive contact. The UConn receivers can't catch a wide open ball that would result in a touchdown. Just incredible showing from the UConn offense. Pickup of 6. It's a 3rd and 4. Pelshak back to pass. Running out of time again. Nobody's open down the field. It's a loss of 6. It's 4th and 10. At this point, it already feels like desperation mode. Offense stays on the field, looking for a miracle. Is that miracle's name going to be Dalton Schmizniak? No, because the O-line can't give Pelshak even a second to throw. 1st and 10 Georgia. They're running away with this one in the second half. It was off to a good start for the Huskies, taking a 14-0 lead, 26-0 since. Dillard over the middle and another man wide open. These corners just cannot keep up. Where is George Kiki? Where is Jamie Santos? Where is AJ Hepburn? Bring them back. We need them for another year of eligibility. These corners are just abysmal against top competition, and you could kind of see that coming after the performance against UMass, and Georgia will score another one. It's Carl Stanford into the end zone, and this is turning into a blowout right before our eyes. Not going to give up just yet. Pelshak going to keep fighting as he wants Juan Beaver further down the field, and Beaver makes the grab. A good pickup. Need to prove that the offense can do anything against this type of defense. On 1st and 10, wants Schmizniak further down the field, swatted into the hands of the safety to add insult to injury. And this game is over. Game over. 36-20 is the final. UConn getting a garbage time touchdown there at the end, but it's not like it mattered. Georgia trying to prove that the loss in the Natty to UConn was a fluke, and if they meet again, they would dominate, and dominate they did. It looked really good at the start for UConn, taking a quick lead, but it completely fell apart after that. There are some serious question marks with this Year 7 UConn team. I mentioned it last season. I don't know if we will ever have a defense quite as well balanced as we had in year number 6. And we also couldn't get any pressure off the D-line today, and I think that goes to show how much we're missing D'Angelo Townsend and Johnny McNulty. And it also didn't help that Clyde Novak, seemingly the only guy that could consistently get in the backfield, had to exit this game with a shoulder injury. Although his replacement, Terrence Cook, did play relatively well. But the biggest question marks for this team, I think, going forward is what are we going to do at corner? And what are we going to do about this offensive line? I know that Georgia D-line is maybe the best in college football, but this was truly a devastating showing. It was embarrassing from the offensive line, particularly I think the left guard Mike Hurd and the right tackle Dexter Ort were specifically very bad. Those were at least the ones that I noticed most often. I'll pull up the stats screen so you can take a look. I mean, it was literally all Georgia. We started with the quick touchdown to Jeffrey Ritchie, a pick 6, and then after that, I mean, it is literally all Georgia, other than the garbage time touchdown that was actually simulated in the fourth quarter. Pelshak having maybe the worst game of his career, 45% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. The rushing game couldn't get going. 7 attempts for 0 yards for John, 13 for 44, 3.3 per carry for Cadet. Passing game was just awful. A lot of drops. I mean, look at these drops. 3 for Tevin Madu, 3 for Juan Beaver, a drop for Richie, 2 for Dalton, and a drop for Ursua. And I think one thing that you probably noticed in that game was the fact that on those 3rd and 11 situations, Georgia would throw to a receiver that is just draped in coverage, but they would hold on to it every time. Whereas with our receivers, if they even hit a little bit of contact, they are letting go of that football. We don't really have anyone who I think consistently is making catches while taking a hit. I think Dalton Schmizniak is maybe the best at that on the team, but even he is not great. And it looks like Juan Beaver's the man who got the garbage time touchdown. AJ Kunazik is actually the one who allowed 2 sacks this game. That's the right guard. Maybe time to make some changes on the O-line. We do have a bye week before we open up conference play against TCU. Now would be the time to make changes. So UConn falls to 1-1 early in the season. I do think we are a team that tends to get better down the stretch, although it was a little bit the opposite last season, where I feel like we were stronger at the start of the year, fell apart a little bit more down the stretch, and then got really good again in the playoffs. But generally speaking, in years past, I think that we kind of start a little slow. We get a little bit stronger near the end of the season, which is a pretty stereotypical of a football team as they kind of figure themselves out. And I think especially for a football team with so much young talent like we have, with just the lack of seniors at starting positions, especially on the defense. Let's go ahead and advance the week, see how far we fall after the 16-point loss to the Bulldogs. UConn now the 11th ranked team in the country after the loss to Georgia. Let's check on the rest of the top 25. Georgia now the number 1 seed. Ohio State 63-0 over an FCS school is the number 2 team. We play them later this season. Oregon jumps to 3, Alabama 4. Utah now the number 1 team in the Big 12 at 5. Kansas State is also above us out of the Big 12. Then there's UNC, Boston College, and Auburn to round out the top 10. We, of course, drop to 11th, and here's the rest of the top 25. LSU has found their way back in after being unranked for quite some time with a 69-0 win against FCS Northwest. The good news about a loss like this is that it reminds me a lot of the UMass loss last season. Obviously, the UMass loss last season was a lot more devastating because it's just not a good team. That's a team that we should be beating, and we should be beating pretty easily. But it's out of conference. A loss out of conference does not hurt nearly as badly as a loss in conference. If we can go undefeated in conference and win the Big 12 championship, if we lose all of our out of conference games, it doesn't really matter. We'll have an automatic bid into the playoffs. So the most important games, obviously, everyone knows this, conference games. So it's one that we could afford to lose, and I think it sort of taught us a lot about this team, and there's some changes that we can make going forward to ensure that we don't have a game that's quite as bad going forward. After the loss, here's a look at the scouting. Oregon still a big lead on Taylor Thrasher. This is one that it's starting to look unlikely that we will be able to compete for. We are in first on Anferni Cantrell with Texas, USC, A&M, and Alabama trailing behind. We are in first on the other safety, Heath Muller. Tackle Raheem Hacker, we are first. Dennis Blade. It looks like we're in first on most of the guys we are going after, except for Max Lamb. We do only have 25 points on him. Notre Dame starting to pursue him pretty heavily. He is nearly locked into his top 3, so if we really want him, we're going to have to start pursuing him a little bit more heavily. But all in all, I would say recruiting is going relatively well. Definitely some changes that need to be made, and if we can switch anyone to hard sells, I will be doing that. This cornerback room is in a really weird spot. It's pretty bad this season, but I think if you give them a year, it's going to be really, really good. Alex Fiad, who converted from wide receiver, does have star dev. He doesn't have the best skill caps on the planet, but he does have a lot of improvement still to come, and he's already an 83 overall. So he could clearly be a very good corner in the future. Iosefa Duggan also has star development with really good ratings caps, especially in the man coverage department. Randy Radovich is a guy I sort of anticipate is about to start falling behind with the normal dev trait, with the not great ratings caps. He's still going to improve a bit. I think he can still be relevant as a backup, but I think that he is getting pretty close to his ceiling. The most interesting one out of those so far is John Catapano, who does have elite development and really, really high skill caps. And then, of course, the 3 guys that we got last recruiting class are going to be absolutely incredible as well. Larry Hay, a 5-star recruit, star development with good skill caps. Ben Talbot, star development with really good skill caps. And Frederick Blanco has elite development with really good skill caps. So I don't think the issue is personnel. I think the issue is timing. We got these guys in too late. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the continued support. Shout out as always to the channel members. You guys are the reason I continue to make these videos. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so by hitting the join button down below for as low as $1 per month. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. That is totally free, and we're going to try to hit 10K, I think, by the end of the year. But I will see you guys in the next episode. We'll get through the bye week and we'll prepare for our first ever meeting versus TCU.